What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are going to continue our coverage over the Night Terror DC event. Of course, this is DC's current event at the moment. Now, if you're new to DC Comics or you are literally just jumping into the Night Terror event, Night Terror is all about the idea that a new character known as Insomnia is looking for the Nightmare Stone. Now, for him to find the Nightmare Stone, he has to jump to everyone's nightmares to see where the Nightmare Stone is actually hiding at, because the Nightmare Stone was placed by Dr. Destiny in someone's dreams. And so right now, Insomnia is looking for the Nightmare Stone. Now, he did put everybody to sleep on the planet Earth. And so right now, all the different tie-ins when it comes to the Night Terror event is focusing on a set of characters or just a particular character. So there is a miniseries for Ravager, a miniseries for Black Adam, even one for Nightwing as well. And so each of those books are exploring the nightmares of those characters, but at the same time, it's Insomnia looking for the Nightmare Stone. Now, today's video, we're going to focus on Robin. Now, the title does say Robin, like singular, and you would think that it does focus on only one Robin. And really, I thought it would be Damian Wayne because it just says Robin. But no, it is not. It's about Jason Todd and Tim Drake. So two Robins for the price of one. And we get to learn about their nightmares when it comes to this event right here. So let's go ahead and jump into Night Terror's Robin #1. And so getting into today's book, we actually do pick up before Insomnia was able to put everybody to sleep on the planet Earth. And so right now, we actually do pick up with Tim Drake right now going after a particular group of thugs. Now, with that being said, you do have Oracle calling in to make sure that Tim Drake is actually okay. And the reason why, because Tim Drake has not checked in 3 days apparently. This man has just been going through Gotham left and right, but not checking in with the family to say that he is okay. Now, when it comes to Oracle, she wants to make sure that he is at least resting, taking a break here and there. But when it comes to Tim Drake, he does not want to, because Batman does not take a break. And so with that being said, you have Tim Drake just going after this particular group and trying to shut their operations down. Now, you do have Oracle tell Tim Drake that she will send some kind of help. You know, the Batgirls, or even Jason Todd. But Tim Drake says no. And so then we jump over to Jason Todd. Now, when we do jump over to Jason Todd, it is literally the same thing when it comes to Tim Drake. And what I mean by that, it is Jason Todd right before Insomnia was able to put everybody to sleep. And so right now, Jason Todd is awake and he's going after another particular group. Now, you do have Oracle actually checking in with Jason Todd because, like Tim Drake, Jason Todd has not checked in. The only difference is that when it comes to Jason Todd, he never checks in. Now with Jason Todd, to him, he's saying to himself, listen, I do care for the Bat family, but it's not mean I want to talk to you guys every single day. Meaning that when you guys are in trouble, then call me. But for right now, please leave me alone. And so you literally have Jason hang the phone up on Oracle without even saying a word. But that is the moment you do have Insomnia begin the process of actually knocking the entire world out, putting everybody to sleep. Because again, when it comes to Insomnia, he's trying to find the Nightmare Stone. But to find the Nightmare Stone, he has to dive into the nightmares of people across the world, heroes and villains. And so right now, he put the entire world to sleep, including Tim Drake and Jason Todd. Now, with that being said, though, this is kind of like Poison Ivy's tie-in. And what I mean by that is, when it came to Poison Ivy, her book, she did fall asleep and she did go into her nightmare world. Except she shares her nightmare with a character known as Janet, who is technically her ex-girlfriend. But the reason why I'm pointing that out right now, because when it comes to Jason Todd and Tim Drake, they're about to share the nightmare together because, again, they're really close. They're brothers, technically, because they're both adopted by Batman. And so they both fall asleep and they both fall into the same nightmare together. Now, when they do arrive in their nightmare, at first, you have Jason Todd and Tim Drake really surprised to see one another. Now, this also shows the bad blood between the two characters, because you have to remember, when it comes to Jason Todd, when he did die, Tim Drake was the Robin that came right after he died. And so with that, Jason Todd sometimes does not respect Tim Drake. I mean, they're technically brothers. Jason Todd does care for Tim Drake, but at the same time, Jason Todd is still somewhat upset with Tim because Tim was the Robin that had replaced him. Now, with all that being said, though, right now you have the two characters realize that they're in some kind of nightmare. And really, Tim was the person at first to figure out that they're in a nightmare right now. It took Jason Todd a tad bit longer. Now, you do have Jason do the most messed up thing to confirm that they are in a nightmare, because you have Jason actually punch Tim right in the face. Now, when he does that, he does knock out a few teeth of Tim's. And when the teeth come right out, they turn into sand. And that tells Tim and Jason Todd, yes, they're right now in some kind of nightmare. On top of that, the environment looks a tad bit different. You have different parts of Gotham all over the place in one particular area. So for example, right now you have Tim Drake's high school, but in the sky you have a different part of Gotham just floating around. And that tells Tim Drake and Jason Todd, yes, we're in some kind of nightmare. But while you have the two characters walking around, that is the moment they do get grabbed by their feet and pulled apart from one another, meaning that they're going to experience two different things at the same time. And so this is where we are going to see Tim and Jason experience two different things, even though right now they're technically in the same nightmare, because you do have Tim Drake arriving at his old apartment. Now, this is one of the worst memories when it comes to Tim. And the reason why? Because this is the day his father died by the hand of Captain Boomerang. And so now is Tim gonna have to relive that moment over and over again. And it is the same thing for Jason Todd. And the reason why, because you do have Jason Todd right now walking around this part of the nightmare. And when he does, he is going to experience the worst part of his life, which of course is when he died. Because when he does walk around, that is the moment he does get hit in the head by a crowbar. And we all know, when it comes to Jason, a crowbar was used by the Joker to bring him near death. It didn't kill him, but it almost did. And then Jason got blown up. But again, the crowbar was used by the Joker. And so this is going to be his nightmare. But getting back over to Tim, of course, when he does arrive to hopefully stop his father from dying again by the hand of Captain Boomerang, well, when he gets there, he's too late. And it's kind of like what he had to go through in the past. When he came home, heard his dad calling for help, and when he got into the room to help his father, he was too late. His father died. And so right now it's Tim Drake having to relive that moment once again. But that is the moment he is confronted by some kind of nightmare creature. Now, this nightmare creature does tell us that he is working for Insomnia. And right now his goal is to torture Tim Drake. But to torture him to the point that Tim could possibly die, to make sure his heart breaks, or to the point to make his heart stop. To kill him in his dream is to kill him in the world of the living. And so right now, this creature said, you are going to relive this moment over and over and over again until I am able to actually break you and actually kill you. Now, when it comes to Jason, Jason is going to experience his death all over again, but something else as well. And what I mean by that is, remember, Jason was killed by the Joker. And so with that being said, his nightmare creature right now looks like Jason wearing Jason's outfit, but when it comes to the helmet, he's wearing Joker's Red Hood helmet. Because remember, before Joker became Joker, he was known as Red Hood. And so when Jason Todd came back to life, he took the name of the guy who killed him, Red Hood. And so right now you have this nightmare creature actually making fun of Jason. And the reason why, because to this creature, he's telling Jason, look at you. You were killed by the Joker. You came back and you took his name. those right there are just steps into you becoming the next Joker. And let's not forget the 3 Joker storyline, because in that storyline, Joker said they were trying to make Jason become the next Joker. And so right now, his nightmare is that right there, becoming the next Joker. He was killed by Joker, and now he might become the next Joker. Now, Jason does shoot this nightmare creature and thinking that, okay, cool, it's gone, I can move on. But when he does open up a door, he finds a bunch of heads. And these heads is just his mother over and over and over again, crying out for help, crying because she had to watch her son actually die. And so right now you have the nightmare creature get back up, but it multiplies and surrounds Jason Todd. And so this right here is going to be his nightmare. And so then we jump back over to Tim. Now, when we do, we kind of find out that Tim had relived his father's death about 52 times. And each of those times, Tim was unable to actually save his father, which honestly is a tad bit huge. But here's the thing, when it comes to the nightmare creature, he's trying to prove a point. And that point is that Tim is a failure as Robin. And what I mean by that, we have to remember that Tim was actually not drafted like Dick and Jason were. Because remember, when it came to Dick and Jason, they went through some tough moments in their life, and you had Bruce Wayne come by and say, hey, live with me. He took them in and they became Robins. But when it came to Tim Drake, it was completely different because Tim realized, hey, Bruce Wayne is Batman. Oh, hey, Dick Grayson is Nightwing. Oh my gosh, I know who Batman and Nightwing are. But on top of that, he realized Batman has become more brutal. He's become crazy in Gotham. And the reason why? Jason Todd had died. And so you had Tim tell Bruce, let me be your Robin, because you need a Robin to keep you in line. And so when it came to Tim, Tim was not drafted. He technically volunteered to become Robin. He was supposed to be this great Robin, but look, he is a failure. He failed to save his father. But on top of that, when the Bat family arrived, it's Tim thinking, okay, this is my way out of here. But unfortunately, it is not, because it's just a nightmare creature creating more problems for Tim Drake. Because the Bat family, when they do arrive, at first it may seem like a way out for Tim, but it's not. It's just the Bat family coming here and saying, leave us alone. Because look, you got your dad killed. Sooner or later, we're going to die because of you. And they all run away. Now, when Tim follows them, well, they all die. It's right now the nightmare creature saying, look at you. You're not going to be a good Robin. You never will be a good Robin. Everybody around you is going to die. And you need to realize that right now. Now, while you have Tim Drake really sad and crying to himself, that is the moment he hears Jason Todd's voice, which tells Tim that Jason and him are very close to one another, but they have to work together to get back together and to escape this nightmare of theirs right now. But when it comes to Jason, Tim's going to need to hurry up. And the reason why, because right now, Jason is surrounded by a bunch of nightmare creature clones of himself, and they're about to attack Jason right now, which could mean Jason might die. And if Jason does die, well, he'll die in the real world. And so this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.